What is up, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, and we're here to do our week one predictions. And football season is finally back. We're gonna get started here. Now we're gonna go to the games that we didn't do. So I picked the Chiefs to win 27-23, and the Chiefs won 27-20, which I did almost got that right. And then I chose the Eagles to win 34-31, and the Eagles won 34-29, which I almost got that right. So I almost got the score predictions right on that. So basically, we're gonna get started here. Now, don't forget before I get to the video, don't forget, put a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel more option, and comment down in your opinion below to see which team you think is going to win week one. So let's get things started here. So his first game here, we got the Atlanta Falcons facing on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Atlanta's favorite at 3.5. I called it a trap game for some reason because, first of all, this game can definitely go either way. Now, my concern is for the Steelers is the quarterback position. Now, we don't know if Russell Wilson's going to play in this game. Even if he does play, he could get a little rusty because he's been struggling with that calf injury almost all summer since summer camp. And then, you got Justin Fields as the backup quarterback, which he's expected to be QB2, which we don't know if he's going to play. So they do have questions at quarterback because if Russ is not 100%, then I'm pretty sure Fields will probably start. But if Russ is 100%, he will still play because he's better than Justin Fields. On the other hand, most people could definitely pick the Steelers because of all the new stuff in Atlanta. But at the same time, Atlanta is going with some changes too. And they got Arthur Smith. Steelers got Arthur Smith. It could be the Arthur Smith revenge game because Arthur Smith is facing against his former team, which he knows all the personalities to the Falcons. Like, he knows all the ins and outs and all that. And basically, Atlanta, they're I kind of feel like I'm leaning towards Atlanta to win because they're at home in the dome. I feel like they're a better team. I think they have a more better quarterback, and and on top of that, Atlanta, they pretty much have a great defense because they got a great pass rush and Matt Judon, which that improves the defense. Justin Simmons did improve the secondary, so they do got some pieces through that defense. Offensively, they got a really good offensive line. They got some weapons working with Drake London. We know Kyle Pitts is banged up. We don't know if he'll play. And then they got Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod. So the Falcons got some weapons to work with on offense. So basically, I think the Steelers can match up well with the Falcons. I feel like Drake London and Joey Porter can definitely be a good matchup. Kyle Pitts and Mika could be a good matchup too. But I don't know if the Steelers really have enough corners to cover all the Falcons receiver. I feel like the Falcons offense can be explosive in this game. I think the Steelers defense is a little bit overwhelming. Like, their pass rush is good, but their offensively is really bad. I mean, a lot of people are saying that because of how the way they struggle and then they overreact to the preseason, which I don't really do that because I feel like that's a dumb thing to do. But at the same time, I feel like, the Falcons pass rush can definitely get after who's playing quarterback for the Steelers because, Steelers got a horrific offensive line and their secondary is pretty good. I feel like AJ Terrell and George Pickens could be a good matchup. And I feel like, the Steelers got to get Pat Fairmouth involved because the Falcons got two safeties now that can really cover him. And, the Steelers don't really have a lot of weapons on offense outside of George Pickens that can really scare Atlanta secondary. So I expect the Falcons defense step up their offense to move the ball on them. Especially the Steelers can definitely give the running backs involved, like Najee and Jalen Warren involved, which I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to be able to run the ball. So, because I feel like Matt Judon could definitely be a difference maker to that Falcons defense. So, I'm leaning towards Atlanta win, but I'm going to take Pittsburgh with the points because Pittsburgh, they can keep this game close. I think it's going to be a little bit of a defensive game, probably like 20-17, something like that. So, I take Falcons to win, Steelers to cover. Next game at the Arizona Cardinals versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is favored by 6.5. Obviously, this game right here can definitely go either way. Now, this game can definitely be fun to watch. Both offenses playing against each other. Now, as I look at the Cardinals offense, they got some skill talent like Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. They got other weapons too, like Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, James Conner. I think the Cardinals do got some weapons on offense. They have a strong offensive line now, but their defense is most concerning because they don't have a lot of pieces on defense, which that could allow the Bills' offense to move the ball on them because the Bills got a really good run game. James Cook seems like he's a stud at running back. Dalton Kincaid stud at tight end. The Bills got to find out who their number one receiver is. Is it going to be Curtis Samuel? Is it going to be Coleman? Is it going to be Shakir? Like, who's going to be their number one receiver for the Buffalo Bills? Like, who knows? I feel like, even though Josh Allen doesn't have a lot of weapons on offense, I feel like he could definitely take advantage of a Cardinals defense that's not great, especially against the run and the pass. But I think the Bills can definitely run all over them all game, and they can throw on them all game. On the other hand, the Bills' O-line is pretty strong. Their defense is good, but it kind of took a big hit because Matt Milano is going to be out for majority of the time, which I don't know when he's going to come back. And their run defense, I mean, their pass rush is okay, but not great. Their secondary is pretty good. They got some underrated corners that can really man up against Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. So yeah, they got some pieces on defense that to work with. But I have a feeling that the Bills are gonna win because the Bills are at home. They have the better quarterback, better coaching, and they're the more complete team overall, and especially the home ground with the Bills Mafia. So yeah, and also they just got the more talented defense than the Cardinals, which I think the Bills defense will get more stops. Like they'll find a way to rush Kyler and do that and all that. So yeah, so I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, but I'm probably gonna take the Bills to win. Like I'm probably going to say the Bills win in a high scoring game like 27-24, something like that, more like in the 20s. I think it will be closer or more like a 27 to 17 if the Bills get a lead early, they can blow the Cardinals out. So yeah. So I think the Bills should easily win. I think Arizona can cover. All right, next game we have Tennessee Titans versus Chicago Bears. The Bears are favored by 3.5. Obviously, this is a game that can definitely go either way. Now, I know most people are definitely on the Titans because, the Titans, just because, the Bears against the first overall pick isn't good in week one and they don't win in week one. Like, I don't know why, but that's what they do. Now, the Titans, are going through a new scheme change. They have a new head coach, a new quarterback. So yeah, so the Titans are going through a lot of changes though. The Bears are completely going changes too. But here's the thing. Now my concern is for both teams is that they're both teams are dealing with players out on the injury report. Now I don't know if D Hop is gonna play in this game, but if D Hop plays, I think that could definitely help the Titans offense throw the ball. But we don't know if Jamal Adams is gonna play in this game. Now Chiwetel Ewuzie is questionable to play. Now, on the other hand, the Bears do got some injuries. Like Montez Sweat is injured, Keenan Allen's injured, and then they got DeMarcus Walker. So the Bears got some questions on defense because they're dealing with some injuries. But if Montez Sweat does not play, I think that kind of helps. I feel like that could be a huge blow to the Bears' defensive line, which that can definitely help the Titans, run the ball down their thrones because they got Tony Pollard, which he could definitely have a big game here. So yeah. Now, on the other hand, the Bears secondary, is pretty good. I mean, they got some young guys who can play at a high level. Now, I think the Bears secondary can do a good job, man up against tight end receivers. Like I think Jalen Johnson on either D Hop or Calvin Ridley, which I think that can help. Bayer on the tight end can be a good matchup. So yeah, that's something to see. The Bears O line did improve, but they do got a really great receiving core now, which I think that could be a difference maker to the Titans secondary because we don't know if Awuzie is going to play. Now Adams could be out, Now, which that can allow the Bears to throw the ball decently okay because they got Caleb Williams, which I don't know if he's going to be any good. So, yeah. But I have a feeling that the Titans defense can give the rookie Caleb some problems because it's his first game. So, yeah. So basically, the game can definitely go either way, but at the same time, I'm gonna take I really don't want to take the Bears. Like I could definitely take the Titans for the memes and giggles, but I don't really want to do that. But the game's in Chicago, so I'm gonna lean towards Chicago to win and Tennessee to cover. I have a feeling that Chicago is kind of going to be the better team moving forward. I think Caleb could be a better quarterback than Will Levis. So yeah, so I like Caleb Williams to have a field day, and I feel like he's gonna get his first win in the NFL as a Bear. So I think it will be a low scoring game, more like a defensive game, like 20-16, something like that. So yeah, I like the Bears to win and Titans to cover. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the New England Patriots. Cincy's favored by 7.5. Now the number was 8.5, but we don't really know now. But now it's at 7.5. Now we don't really know if Chase or T Higgins is gonna play because if Joe Burrow loses top weapons, I think that could definitely hurt the Bengals offense, and their Bengals offense may not be able to score a lot of points. If those guys are playing, I could definitely say the Bengals could definitely score like 30 points or more. But if the Patriots, for the Patriots, I don't think they're a great team. They're going through a new culture, a new coach, and a new quarterback. We don't know who's starting quarterback is going to be Jacoby Brissett or Drake May. The receiving core is not great. The running backs is fine. The O line is kind of iffy. The defense, losing Judon, I feel like that's going to be a huge blow. Um, their their secondary is okay, but their corners are kind of like beat up due to injuries. So yeah, that's something that you gotta watch. Um, if it because I don't even know if Chase is gonna play because I heard him even said that he might not want to play if he doesn't get a contract done by the end of the week. And T Higgins, they said he's doubtful to play, so he might not play in this game. But I feel like without those top guys, like who's gonna step up as a Bengals wide receiver? Is it gonna be Jermaine Burton? Mike Gesicki could step up. Like who's gonna step up for the Bengals receiving core? Now the Bengals, don't really have a running game though, because they lost Joe Mixon, and now you got Chase Brown's the number one running back or Zach Moss. Um, Offensive line is pretty good. It's still okay. The defensively is pretty good, but we're gonna have to see how their run defense is gonna fall out without DJ Reader. I feel like Sheldon Rankins was a good addition. I think the Bengals defensive line can definitely give the Patriots some issues, and Big Lou is a really good defense coordinator. Like he knows how to shut down offenses. So yeah, I think the Bengals win because they have the better quarterback. They got the better coach. They're at home, and they're the more complete team. And I feel like it's a crowd noise as well. So yeah, I think the Bengals. I feel like it's gonna be a low scoring game if the Bengals, if Jamar Chase and T Higgins don't play. But if they both play, and I mean if one of them play, I think it could be a high scoring game. I think the Bengals can score more points. Like I think be like 27-10, something like that. Because I don't think the Patrons are gonna be able to keep up. So yeah, I like the Bengals to win and the Bengals to cover. Next game, we got the Houston Texans versus Indianapolis Colts. The Texans are favored by -3. Obviously, this is a game that can definitely go either way. Now, most people might pick the Colts to win because the Colts, they're at home in this game, and you know the game is in a dome, and Texans is a dome team as well. But at the same time, this game right here is definitely can come down to the wire. But I got the Texans winning this game because the Texans are at home. I mean, they're not at home. They got the better quarterback, better coaching, they're a better team overall. And at the same time, the Texans, got some players on D are just more talented. I feel like the Colts are kind of a little bit overrated and people are hyping Anthony Richardson. I feel like he could have a breakout season. I feel like he could do that, but at the same time, I just kind of really have a feeling that that the Texans, like I just feel like the Texans are just a better, like I just think the Texans could be more explosive on offense than the Colts. Now the Colts do got some guys on offense, but you know they got Michael Pittman Jr. and then they got Ad Mitchell now. Um, The guy who's supposed to be their starting tight end and Woods is out for the year, which that sucks. Josh Downs, I don't know if he's playing. He could be out. Jonathan Taylor, he's healthy. Now we know he had a good game against the Texans last year. O line is pretty good. The defense, part of their defense is good, especially their defensive line. Um, line, their secondary, is not really good. I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of average in my opinion because I feel like you have to cover Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, John Minchie, Robert Woods. Like you're gonna have to at least cover those guys. But the Colts got one of the worst corner groups in the NFL, and I think C.J. Stroud's gonna have a day. Stephon Diggs is a big mismatch, but I don't think the Colts will have an answer for. The Texans do have a good offensive line. The defense is totally pretty good. I mean, their run defense is really good. The secondary is really good, which I think Derek Stingley and Michael Pittman would be a really good matchup because I think D'Amico Ryans will get his guys going. I have a feeling that that the Texans, on defense, are good at stopping the run, which I don't really know if Christian Harris is gonna play or something like that. I don't really know because they're saying that he might not play this game. I don't know. Actually, they put him on IR, and then D'Amico Autry, he's suspended, but they still got Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson as their best pass edge rushing duos. So yeah, so I felt the Texans should win, but I'll take them to cover as well. I think it's going to be like a 31-27 or a 31-20, something like that. I don't know if the Colts can keep up, but I wouldn't be shocked that they kept this game close. But yeah, but I think the Texans win. I think the Texans cover. So yeah, it should be a fun game. Next team, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins. I don't know why I have to do this, but I sing this song every single time, the Miami Dolphins, but I still have to do it though. They're favored by 3.5. Obviously, this game can definitely go either way, but I'm not sure who's going to win because I have Jacksonville making the playoffs and then I have Miami missing the playoffs. I don't know why, but it's two young quarterbacks playing against each other, so that should be fun to watch. Now they do got some questions. Now the injury reports is on question. Like we gotta see who's good. Like, well, we know last year Miami is because the thing is about Miami is that they're bad. They're bad against good teams, especially sometimes in the playoffs. That's when they tend to struggle. Jacksonville's like that too, but yeah. But here's the thing: Miami is dealing with some injuries though. Now we know Isaiah Wynn is. Now we don't know if Ramsey's gonna play. If Ramsey plays, I think he can do a good job recovering the Jags receivers. Like he'll cover one of them. Their secondary is healthy enough, but I don't know about part of their defense because they lost some pieces. But I think they're going through a new scheme change with a new defensive coordinator. Their offensive line got some new pieces because they lost Robert Hunt and Connor Williams. The receiving core is still the same, but we don't know if Odell will play because actually he's out due to he's gonna be out for a couple games. Isaiah Wynn is gonna be out for a couple games. We know Bradley Chubb is going to be out for a couple games. So Dolphins got some questions on defense. Offensively, they're okay. Um, the Jags, they don't really have a lot of injury on defense. Like their defense, they got some pieces there. Um, people are Tyson Campbell's getting slept on, which he's a good corner. They got some other guys: Andre Cisco, Devin Lloyd, Josh Allen, Robertson Harris. Offensive line is okay. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has a lot of weapons to work with the rookie Brian Thomas, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Travis Etienne. So they got a lot of weapons they got to work with. So, yeah. So, basically, the game right here is going to be close. It's going to be fun to watch. But I'm going to take the Dolphins to win because there is in Miami where it's a tough place to play at. And it's going to be the crowd noise. The Dolphins are, and I feel like that the offense, the explosiveness on offense with Tyreek and Jalen Wiles is going to be too much for the Jags defense to handle. Because we know Tyreek Hill is fine, but Jalen Wiles will be dealing with some injuries to like parts of his body. But I think the Dolphins offenses will be going off in this game. I think Tua will have a day. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Something like I think something like 31-24, something like that. I think Miami can definitely win by a touchdown or maybe by a field goal or maybe like 31-30, something like that. Or like, so yeah. I like the Dolphins to win, but I'll take the Jags with the cover. All right, next game we have the Carolina Panthers versus New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by -4. Obviously, this is a game that can be fun to watch. Now, most people could be hyping up the Panthers because Bryce Young could be better than Derek Carr because Derek Carr is old and Bryce Young is just a young quarterback. But obviously, I could definitely this game right here could definitely be not one of the best games of the week because both these teams are not great. My problem is with the Panthers is I don't know if Dave Canales is going to save Bryce Young. Like, will he do it? Which I don't really know. But they did add some new pieces on the offensive line. Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette added to the receiving core alongside Adam Thielen helps. But they got some new weapons. But they got a new running back and a new tight end to deal with. Defensively, they're really good. I like Everett as the coordinator, but they're really not great because they lost some pieces. Um, Maybe they can do a good job, like rushing Derek Carr and all that. But at the same time, I feel like the Saints have a better defense because the Saints, they're at home in a dome, but they got some guys who are slowing down. Offensively, they're still the same. Derek Carr, he's getting older, he's regressing. So yeah, but at the same time, I'm taking the Saints because it's in New Orleans. They got the better quarterback. They're the more complete team. Their coaching is a little bit better. But so yeah, I just think the Saints, should be able to win. I think their defense could definitely give Bryce Young and the Panthers offense some issues. And their secondary is pretty much talented where they can man up against the Panthers receiving core. So yeah, I think the Saints defense can totally win them this game. I think it's going to be a little bit of a low scoring game, like 16-10, 16-13, or like 17-10, something like that. More like a lower scoring game because both teams don't really have a good red zone offense. So yeah, I'll take the Saints to win and the Saints to cover in this game. Next game we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the New York Giants. Minnesota's favored by 1.5. Obviously, this is a game that can definitely go either way. Obviously, it could go either way, but most people are definitely on the Giants to win because the Giants, could have the better quarterback in this game because they know Daniel Jones could be better than Sam Darnold. But I don't think Daniel Jones is that good of a quarterback because he has trouble reading defenses and all that. He holds on to the ball so long. Like, I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. But you know what? The Giants do got Malik Neighbors, though, as a receiver, which that's good. Old line is still pretty bad. But the defense did improve by adding Brian Burns, which that kind of helps. The secondary I don't think is that great. But here's the thing. My concern is that the Giants defense versus the Vikings offense is my concern. The Vikings got a lot of weapons on offense with skill group, like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. Like, we don't know if TJ Hawkinson's gonna play because he's actually not playing for a couple of weeks. So he's out for a while. They got Aaron Jones there. So the Vikings do got some weapons to work with on offense. Offensive line is okay. The defense, I feel like, did improve a little bit, but I feel like their secondary did improve by adding Gilmore. I feel like Gilmore versus Malik Neighbors be a good matchup. So I feel like adding Gilmore to the Vikings secondary kind of helps. The offensive line, I kind of really feel like, the Giants secondary is a little bit shaky. I don't know if Deontay Banks is ready for Justin Jefferson. Dory Jackson, I don't think he's ready, but he's old. I don't think he can do it. So Justin Jefferson. So I feel like the Giants might have trouble covering Justin Jefferson. So yeah. So I feel like this could definitely be a low scoring game, but I got the Vikings winning because the Vikings are a better team overall. They got the better. I mean, they just got more skill group on offense than the Giants do. So yeah, I feel like the Vikings will win, but I'm probably gonna take the Vikings to cover because I think the Vikings, are just a slightly better like version of the Giants. So yeah, I'm gonna say like a 20 something, say like 20-13, something like that, or like so yeah, like a 24-13, something like that. So yeah, or 23-13 by double digits. So yeah, I like the Vikings both ways. I like the Vikings to win and cover. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are favored at 3. This is a game that can definitely go either way, but I could definitely see the Raiders win this game. Now, most people are picking the Raiders because the Raiders could be a better team moving forward, and the Chargers could be a little bit overrated. But here's the thing: the Raiders got better weapons on offense than the Chargers. The Chargers don't really have a lot of weapons on offense that can really scare the Raiders. But the Raiders secondary, I don't think it's great. But their defensive line is really good because I think the Raiders do a good job stopping the run the Chargers. Because Chargers are bad against the run, and they're really bad against the pass too. Because last year they were ranked as the worst pass defense in the NFL. Last year, like basically, if you look at that game from late in the season, the Raiders really blew them off. But the Chargers gave up like 63 points. The Chargers gave up 63 points to the Raiders last year, which that was totally bad. So basically, where it comes down to the matchup, I think this game will be a defensive game. I don't think it's going to be an offensive game. I think it will be close because I think the Chargers defense is really good. It's pretty much better than I think, but I don't think it's great. So So either way where it goes at, I could definitely see the Raiders win this game. But the game's in LA where it's kind of a tricky place to play at, and the Chargers are good at home in the environments. So I'm probably gonna take the Chargers to win because they have a better quarterback. They're at home. I think their coaching is a lot better. And I just think Justin Herbert can have a field day, especially the Chargers have a strong offensive line that can really control the Raiders' pass rush. They wish I could put the Raiders' defense in a bad position. And the Chargers pass rush is pretty good, which I think they can give Gardner Minshew and the Raiders offense some fits. And their secondary is really pretty much not as bad as you think because they got some guys who can like man up against Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Brock Bowers. So yeah, I feel like Jerwin James and Brock Bowers will be a good matchup. Devontae Adams and Asante Samuel could be a good matchup. So yeah, I feel like the Chargers can win that game on defense. I feel like it's gonna be a defensive game. I think the Charger defense wins them that game. So I like the Chargers to win, but I'll take the Raiders with the points because I think the Raiders are just are just slightly like I think they're a better team than the Chargers. I think they're a slightly better team than Chargers. So yeah, but I feel like but at the same time, the games in LA were a tough place to play at because of the crowd noise, and so yeah, I like the Chargers to win and the Raiders to cover in a close one. Next game at the Denver Broncos versus Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks is favored by -6. Obviously, this game right here is going to be good to watch. Now, when I was watching a video on there, watching the week one predictions on many different users, some people were picking the Broncos to win. Now, whoever picked the Broncos to win, you must be high, you must be on drugs, or anything like that, because the Broncos are not going to win this game. Seattle is definitely going to win this game. They're going to easily blow the doors and they're going to easily cover because Seattle, they're a better team, better quarterback. They're at home. They pretty much got like more talent overall on both sides of the ball because their receiving core is a lot better than the Broncos. Their O-line is okay, but not great. But their defense is a lot better than the Broncos because they got more pieces there. Now, the Broncos receiving core outside of Cortland Sutton is not good. So I think one of the Seahawks cornerbacks can cover Cortland Sutton one-on-one. I feel like they can cover him all game. And I feel like, the pass rush can get after Bo Nix, especially this is a rookie facing again on the road, facing against a really good defense in Seattle, especially on the road where Seattle's tough to play at. So, yeah. So I feel like Bo Nix is gonna have a tough time, and Mike McDonald's defense is gonna find a way to at least like confuse the rookie. Like he's good at confusing rookie quarterbacks. So yeah, I think Seattle blows the doors off of them. I'm gonna say like a 34 to like 13, something like that. Like I feel like it will be a close. I feel like it will be a blowout at this point. So I like the Seahawks to win and Seahawks to cover. Next game of the Dallas Cowboys versus the Cleveland Browns. The Browns is favored by -2.5. Now, I thought the Cowboys were going to be favored, but Dallas is underdogs in this game. I feel like that the Browns, it could go either way, but I see most people pick the Cowboys to win because the Cowboys are a better team than the Browns, and they have a better quarterback than the Browns. And it's hard to say. I could take Dallas in this game because I feel like Dak Prescott can definitely get it done against this Browns defense, which I don't really know if Watson is going to be able to get it done against this Cowboys defense as well. Now we know here's the issue with the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a new offensive line and new pieces there, and they're not good against the run. So I feel like the Browns can run the ball on them. And Myles Garrett versus a rookie left tackle, that could be a problem. Um, the Browns do have injuries on their offensive line, but I feel like they can definitely control Dallas's pass rush. The Browns receiving core is really good. We could definitely see them throw the ball a little bit on Dallas because we know, given that DaRon Bland is not going to be playing for a couple of weeks, which that's a huge blow to that Cowboys defense because he had a breakout season last year. Um, the Browns pass rush can do a good job getting after Dak. Their corner groups are one of the best in football. Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, Greg Newsome. That's a really good corner trio. I think they can find a way to at least cover CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. And then they got Thornhill who can cover Jake Ferguson. So that could be a good matchup for the Browns. On the other hand, the Cowboys, Diggs on Amari Cooper be a good matchup. So yeah. Their safeties versus Nick David Njoku is really good. But I don't know if anybody. I don't really know if Dallas has enough players in the second that can cover the Browns receiver because the Browns receiving core is really good. But I have a feeling that it's going to be a defensive game, a low scoring game, because both defenses are going to try to hold up on each other. But I like the Browns to come through with their defense to win them this game. Because I don't think Dallas is going to be able to run the ball effectively on them. Because I don't know who the Cowboys starting running back's going to be. Is it going to be Zeke Elliott? Is it going to be Dalvin Cook, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn? Like, who knows? So, yeah. I feel like it's going to be a defensive game. I'm going to say like 23-20, something like that. I think the Browns can win by a field goal. So, yeah. I like the Browns, or maybe by a defensive stop. So, yeah. I like the Browns to win. But I'm going to take Dallas with the points because I like Dallas to win. But I feel like if Dallas wins, that's great. But I just have a feeling that the Browns will win because it's in Cleveland and the Browns are really good at home, especially against good opponents, and their defense is good against good opponents. So yeah, I like the Browns to win. I like the Cowboys to cover. Next game, we got the Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucks is favored by 3.5. Obviously, I got the Bucks win this game. I know most people are picking Washington, but I don't think Washington is any good because they have a new quarterback, a new coach, and it's going to be a new culture down there. And another reason why I think the Bucks will win is because the Bucks are a better team. They got the better quarterback. I mean, people are sleeping on Baker Mayfield. Like Baker Mayfield's good. Like he's a much better quarterback than Jayden Daniels. Um, they got the better quarterback. Like they got better coaching. They're a better team overall. Like they got like a better receiving core because Washington receiving core outside Terry McLaurin's not good after trading away Jahan Dawson. Um, their offense, they got a better old line. I don't think Washington do have some players on defense, but I don't think they're really good. I think Tampa Bay's old line can like give Washington's defense a problem. And then Tampa has a better defense. Their pass rush is really good. I feel like Todd Bowles, especially against mobile quarterbacks, he's really good at preparing against these mobile quarterbacks. I feel like their defense can find a way to at least like confuse Jayden Daniels. So yeah, I mean Tampa has a much better defense than Washington, but Washington's secondary is not really good. So I don't think nobody can really cover Mike. Nobody in that Washington secondary can really cover Mike Evans and Chris Godwin or Kate Otten. I feel like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin can definitely be too much for the Commanders secondary to handle because I don't think nobody in the secondary can cover those guys. And then they got Rachaad White, who's a really good running back, so I feel like Tampa Bay can have success run the ball. And Tampa Bay has a much better secondary that can really like play man covers against Washington. I feel like Jamel Dean versus Terry McLaurin's a good matchup. So that's something to watch. So yeah. I think the Bucks should easily win. I think the Bucks should easily cover. I feel like I feel like the Bucks can definitely win in a blowout. I'm gonna say like 31-13, 34-17, something like that. So yeah, I like the Bucks in both ways. Next game we have Sunday Night Football. The Los Angeles Rams versus Detroit Lions. The Lions are favored by 4.5. Obviously, this game right here could definitely go either way. Now, some people can definitely pick the Rams to win because the Rams offense could definitely have a good game. I feel like it definitely could be an offensive game because the Lions are really not good against the pass, and the Rams aren't good against the pass. But at the same time, the Rams defense, I don't think it's going to be that good because they lost Aaron Donald because he retired. They traded their best linebacker away in Ernest Jones. But they did add some pieces in the secondary that can help their pass defense, like Tre'Davious White or Cameron Curl. But I just don't think their defense is good. But now their offense can definitely score some points to keep them competitive, though. Because I think last year Puka kind of like really broke out. So yeah, I feel like the Rams, I felt the Rams offense can definitely have a good game here. I felt they can move the ball in the Lions because the Lions defense are really not good against the pass, but they're better against the run. But my mind says pick the Lions, so I got the Lions in this game because I felt the Lions offense is going to be too much for the Rams defense to handle. And I feel the Lions are probably going to rush for 200 yards because I feel like the Lions can run the ball on the Rams because I don't think the Rams' run defense is going to be as good as it used to be. So yeah, and then I just kind of really feel like that. The the wide receivers for the Lions, like Sam Laporta, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, like who are the Rams are going to be able to cover those guys? Like who's going to do it? Tre'Davious White, Cameron Curl, like who? Darius Williams on IR. Like who's going to cover the Lions pass catching group? Like who you think? Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's probably going to go for 100 plus receiving yards. Sam Laporta could do that too. Jameson Williams, I expect him to at least have a good game as well. So I felt the Lions can have a good game. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery expected to have a good game as well. So yeah, I feel the Lions offense is definitely going to go off in this game. I feel like it's going to be a shootout in this game. And definitely, the Lions do have more talent on defense, so they have a better defense than the Rams. I feel like they're gonna have to do. I feel like they have a better chance stopping the run than the Rams. Um, the Lions, just have like everything. Like they did upgrade their corner position to match up against the Rams receivers. I feel like with Carlton Davis and Ternell Arnold added in the secondary, that could help. The pass rush can find a way to rush Matthew Stafford and get after him, but I don't see how the Rams defense is going to be able to get pressure and touch Jared Goff. I feel like Jared Goff will be comfortable in the pocket, and especially the Lions are really good outdoors, are good indoors, especially in a dome. I feel like the crowd noise is going to go off. So I like the Lions to win. Um, I'll take them to cover as well. I think the Lions can win by a touchdown. I feel like the Rams can keep up. I feel like they can win by a touchdown. I'm probably going to say like the Lions win like probably like 34-27, something like that. More like a 7-point game. I think the Lions defense can win in this game, or I think they can win by a touchdown. So yeah. So I like the Lions both ways. I feel like the Lions are just a completely better team. They completely got the better defense. They're at home. The quarterbacks and the coaches are kind of even. So yeah. So I like the Lions both ways. I like the Lions to win and the Lions to cover. And then last game, Monday Night Football, we got the New York Jets versus San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 4.5. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch this game on TV because Disney's contract with ESPN expired like earlier this week. Which, if y'all haven't heard the news, just like look it up on Google because it'll probably tell you. Now, I don't really know if ESPN is going to be able to come back on TV soon. So that's something we gotta watch. Because if it doesn't, I'm probably gonna like watch the game online like I did like last night. So like I watched the Eagles and Packers game. So yeah, I expect this game to be a lot closer than we think. I feel like it's gonna be a fun game to watch. Obviously, I have a feeling that some people could pick the Jets to win, but I don't know if I'm confident in that because I could definitely take the Jets as an upset with the memes and giggles. If their defense can like find a way to give Brock Purdy a lot of issues and all that. So yeah, but at the same time, I have a feeling that the Jets defense, the best unit could be their corner group, but their pass rush may not be their best because sometimes they get ran on at times. But the Jets are dealing with some new pieces on their old line, which they did improve a little bit. There was now we don't. I don't really know the Jets gonna be able to score a lot of points because the Jets' red zone offense has been bad like almost all last year. Mike Williams was a good addition. Well, we don't know how he's gonna be coming off the ACL. The Niners, they pretty much have a really good talented team. Like their receiving core is really good. Offensive line is really good. The defense is really good despite them losing pieces. And adding pieces too. But I feel like the Niners do match up well with the Jets because they have the corners to match up with the Jets receivers. They have the pass rush to get after Aaron Rodgers. Their O line can do a good job controlling the Jets pass rush. But I have a feeling that the Niners offense can be definitely too good right here and I feel like they can attack the Jets corners with they can get the ball to Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle quick. And CMC, if he plays, which I don't know if he's playing because he's dealing with the injury, but if he doesn't play, I think the Niners are probably gonna I don't think they're gonna run the ball as good. But and don't forget they got Jawan Jennings as well and Ricky Purcell if he's playing, which he said he's gonna play despite being shot. So yeah. So I think the Niners can definitely move the ball in the Jets. They have a really good talented defense, which I think their corners can match up against Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams. And Hufanga, if he comes back, he can match up against Conklin. So yeah, so the Jets got some weapons on offense to work with, and Aaron Rodgers, I feel like he's gonna be rusty coming off an injury, so that's something to watch. But the thing is that the Niners have won against Aaron Rodgers in the past because they own Aaron Rodgers in the past. Like they figured out how to play him in the past. Like because I remember when Aaron Rodgers was a Packer, the Niners had beat it on him multiple times. So that reminds me that I'm going to pick the Niners to win because I feel like the Niners are a better team overall. They have a better coaching. They're at home, and especially with the crowd noise too going off, especially on Monday night in San Francisco, which is tough out. So yeah, because it's outdoors. And I feel like Brock Purdy's gonna have a good game here, but I think the defense of the Niners is probably gonna win them this game. I think they can get a last second stop, which that'll be really good for them. So yeah. So at this point in time, I feel like this could definitely be a low scoring game because I think the Jets defense could definitely stay competitive in this game. I expect them to do that, but if they can, and I feel like they can keep this game close. But I feel like the Niners offensively can find a way to control the game and they can keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. I mean, that would be perfect. The only way the Jets can win this game is that their defense can give Brock Purdy some issues, and then Aaron Rodgers, he can at least find a way to at least the Jets offense can find a way to control the ball, keep Brock Purdy on the sideline, but that can help the Jets win. But if the game is in New York, I could take the Jets. But since it's in San Francisco on a Monday night, which is I think the Niners win this game. But I'll take the Niners to cover as well. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets cover. But I have a feeling that I'm probably just gonna take the Niners both ways here. I'm just gonna take the Niners to win and cover. I'm gonna say maybe a 23-16, something like that, because I don't see the Jets scoring a lot of points. I think the Niners' red zone offense is a lot better than the Jets. So yeah, I take the Niners to win, Niners to cover. Well, those are all my picks for Week 1 for the 2024 NFL season. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to put the thumbs up to the video and subscribe to the channel for more options. So yeah, I'm looking forward to for Sunday and for tomorrow to see all the games. So if you guys disagree with me, just let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. You think I'm so yeah, so hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later in the next video. Peace.